Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to Kiki's Kitchen. As you know, if you follow my page at all, I have my table set for Cinco de Mayo, which is coming up on Sunday, and I am doing a little fiesta, of course, a big fiesta actually, and so I am preparing my meats for my Mexican fiesta. So last week, if you watched, I made my barbecue sauces because I was making pork shoulder, pork butt, because there is a pork butt shoulder and a picnic pork shoulder. So I like the pork butt. I was making my pork butt and I was making it for barbecue. So I used my rub on it and it was a nice sweet and barbecue type of a flavor. Today I'm doing it more Mexican. I'm doing a few things actually. I'm going to do this pork, and this pork will be shredded Mexican pork. It's not quite a carnitas because I'm not going to crisp it up, which is kind of where that ends up headed. I'm going to do some taco meat, and in a separate video I'm going to do some Mexican chicken, so that my taco bar will have a taco meat, ground meat. It will have a pork and a shredded chicken. So we're going to get started. The reason you see me have gloves on, because normally I don't have gloves when I'm doing this, but I'm using, one of the first things that I use is, well, I guess it would be easier to show you this, which is this seasoning, Sazon seasoning. You can get it in any grocery store. It might be in the international aisle. Once in a while it's with regular spices, but it's usually in the international aisle, and it's got wonderful full Latin flavors, Mexican flavors, but it has turmeric in it, and turmeric, however you want to say that. And you see how orange this is? I haven't even put any chili powder on this yet, and it's that orange, and it's because of the coloring in here. And I made a quick touch of this, and my hands got immediately yellow, and that's no bueno, let's just say. So so the first thing I did was this is my Lizano. I tell you about this stuff all the time. I just recently discovered a Spanish grocery store in my town that carries it. I am so delighted. So first what I did was I poured this over the top of this. Then after that, I used on one side, I basically on one side split one of these packages of Sazon. I also am going to use some ground cumin over the top. And when you season aggressively, because it's going to cook a long time. It's got a lot of flavoring to seep in there. Truly, I just got my meat yesterday, and by the time I got home, so you can see how much, and then just want to rub it down. Pull those flaps back. You see this flaps that you got here? Whoop. You want to pull those back and get all your seasoning everywhere. That's one of the best parts of this. Then I'm not going to add salt and pepper. Well, actually I am going to add pepper, but I'm not going to add salt because my Sazon has it in there. Plus I'm going to hit it with some lime juice. And I don't want to over salt. I can always salt it in a bit. So now this is regular chili powder. Chili powder is not hot. It just gives you the flavor of the chili pepper, but not the hot pepper. It's not hot. It's just what you put in the chili, stuff to make it turn red, kind of give it a little background flavor, a little smokiness to it. Again, be aggressive with it. And then I have in this bowl, I have the dark green is cilantro. Then this is scallions chopped up very small. And this is not minced garlic, but I pressed my garlic, used garlic press, because I wanted it to be more paste-like. So I'm going to take some cilantro, and I know there's a lot, people have a love-hate relationship with cilantro. Oh my gosh, it tastes like soap, it's terrible, whatever. When you're seasoning this way, it will be a background flavor. It will not be a predominant flavor. So if that is kind of what you're thinking, you can kind of not worry about that. It's not going to overpower because it's going to cook for 4 hours. So trust me, it's going to meld into the flavors. I've got my scallions, and then of course I'm going to put this garlic down in my fold because I want it to cook from the middle up. See this fold over here? I'm going to put some garlic in there and make sure it really gets down in there good. Add some on top. Really rub it down, because this is the bottom side, by the way, that I'm seasoning right this minute. I'm gonna flip it. I always season the bottom side first, so that once I flip it, that's where it stays. Because you always cook this fat side up. All right. I did that with moderate danger. Okay, so this, I'm throwing this away, so that's why I'm not worried about, but this is my Lizano, as you can see. It's actually, I've thinned it out with water. And it's just giving it a little base flavor. I had some left in that, bottle, so when I opened up the new one, I wanted to get every last little drop out. So now I'm gonna go in with my Sazon, sprinkle that, and I did not pepper that other side. I'm gonna pepper this side. Once this is done and shredded, I will also, that's when I will season it for taste. I mean, for serving taste, if that makes any sense. Okay, I'm gonna put some garlic on this. Use up basically everything else I got on the top part. This is really good. So then once it's done, it will be shredded, and they will make tacos both in the hard shells and the soft shells. And the sides, you know, to build your taco bar, to have, you know, sliced fresh tomatoes and sliced cilantro, scallion onions, black olives, peppers, jalapeno peppers, sour cream, cheese. There's all kinds of good stuff on a taco bar. And then my side dish will be black beans and rice. And do you see this big bowl right here? I'll show you this in a second. That is, that can't be good. This can't be good. Truly, this can't be good. See if I can do this. Oh my goodness. Well, it's going to be missed by the time I get there anyway. I should have turned it off. I'm so sorry. Hang in there a second. Hang in there. Okay, sorry about that. It was my husband, so I had to answer. So, so now we've done this side. We're going to do some chili powder on it. And some cumin. And I also have, I don't know if you can see or not, but I have just water in the bottom of my pan, and I have it. These are sitting on a rack. Can you see the rack? I don't know if you can see the rack. Maybe over here you can see the rack. Because I don't want them sitting in the water. I want them up off the bottom. But the water is right up to the rack. It will make a lot more juice than that. And that juice, once I pull this and shred it, I will then put it back in my juice, and that's how I'll warm it. And the juice will be spectacular. So I have my cumin and my, and I am going to hit it with a little bit of salt. There we go. And some black pepper, of course. Just let it rain. There we go. Because that's a lot of meat, remember. So don't panic thinking that's a lot. Last but not least, I've got some fresh squeezed lime juice here. And that is going over the top of everything. And now I will mirror these flavors once I get it all shredded. I will mix it with a little bit of Lizano and lime juice primarily. The actual meat. Just completely missed. And the flavor is just amazing. It's my favorite taco, I have to say. I mean, I like ground beef, you know, that's all well and good, but this is really good. So is the chicken, I have to say. So this is uncovered, and it has been sprayed well with Carlini. And the reason I have this sitting in this, because this is my cover. This is going to go into a 450 degree oven for 20 minutes. I don't know where the top is. And I will set for 20 minutes. I will open it up. I will take my lid that I will generously spray because this will splatter and it makes this much easier to clean up. And put the lid on it, and then I will set my timer for about 3.5 hours because these happen to be bone in. The ones I did the other day were boneless, which is truly my pork butt of choice, is a boneless butt. But they didn't have any. So you got to go with what you got. Got to play the cards that are dealt you, right? So this is going in. I will see you in 20 minutes and just kind of, because what we're doing with that, why it's going to 450 for 20 minutes, is we are eliminating that seariness on the top of the stove mess. We are searing it in the oven, covering it, and then knocking it back to 325 and letting it go for 3.5 to 4 hours. It'll depend, you know, I mean, it just depends on, I've got both of these in there. It depends on, just depends, might have to go longer, but I'll show you all that stuff. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I'm opening up this stove just briefly, this oven, and that is after 20 minutes. So I have sprayed my lid and it's going on. Here we go. And back in we're going. And we'll see you in about 3.5 hours. So I'll be back in just a few minutes because we're going to move on to taco meat. So hang in there. Okay, we're back and we are going to do some taco meat now. Now remember, when you're doing taco meat, you're not doing chili. So you're not making a soup. You're making basically ground beef. Now, or ground chicken. I do my taco meat a lot of times with ground chicken too, or a combination of ground beef and ground chicken. But I always do ground beef and Italian sausage. Italian sausage is not just for Italian food. It gives such a wonderful background flavor, and it's going to complement the other flavors that you're gonna put in here. So what I have in here, and obviously I'm making a lot, again, pay no attention to my amounts. I'm showing you the method, and I'll give you, the recipe that I'll give you will probably have a pound of hamburger and a pound of Italian sausage. But most people, when they're making taco meat, they buy those little packets of taco mix that is filled with salt, a lot of salt. And it's got cumin and coriander and garlic. Well, look, we have cumin and garlic. I don't have coriander, but you don't actually need coriander. I always say, don't buy those things. First off, you can buy these things for the cost of one of those things and make a lot more of it. You need the 3 C's plus little garlic, salt, and pepper. Cumin, coriander, and chili powder. Those are the 3 basics. And then little coarse salt, coarse kosher salt, and coarse black pepper. And you've really got everything you need for taco meat. Now I kind of zhuzh mine up, but as far as the basics go, that's really all you need to get the meat seasoned. So I have browned off all of my meat, and this is my Italian sausage that I used, right? So I cut the casing with my knife and peeled the casing off because that's just kind of too tough for what I don't like that toughness of the casing in my taco meat. And then I crumble it. And if you find that, because most of the time the meat I have is like 80-20, and if you find that you have too much grease, then what I do actually is I just dump the whole thing in a colander in a pan. I set a pan down in my sink. I set the colander on top of the pan, and then I just dump this because it's just easier when I'm doing a lot. And then I retain all that grease in the pan, and then ultimately I'll throw the grease that's in the pan into a Ziploc because it'll be cold, and then that's when I'll throw it away. I don't do it down the sink anymore. I did that for a long time, but I stopped it. So this is just my meat. So now to this, I'm going to season it a little bit. I'm not going to use this garlic because I have some fresh garlic. So, but if you don't have fresh garlic, you're going to use garlic. This is ground cumin. I have a lot in here. That's a true story. But don't be afraid of spice. Because it will mix in there. This is easily 2 tablespoons easily. I'm going to kind of put that, mix that through. Each time I add a spice, I'm going to mix it.